Too many Latinos and other minorities are part of a leaky pipeline that is hampering entry into STEM careers. We explore a program that is helping to make a difference. And we discuss the open enrollment period for the Affordable Care Act with a local community advocate and independent insurance agent. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas. Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
All too often, our school systems have a leaky pipeline that leaves too many minorities and females out of the pathway to a STEM career. My guests today are here to discuss this issue and ways to turn that around. Joining me are Darlene and Raymond Dehan. They're with Med About Science. Darlene and Raymond, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just to get this off the table, you're mother and son, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And together with Med About Science. So tell me, what is Med About Science?
Well, what Med About Science is, it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And we have 4 main points that we deal with. 2 points are education and 2 points are social. The 2 educational points are that we're trying to increase the graduation rate from Latinos and African Americans. And we are also interested in trying to provide professional development for teachers to understand how to teach struggling students and English language learners.
Let's talk about the issues that are keeping Latinos, minorities out of STEM careers, and what you refer to as the leaky pipeline, very critical. Tell me, what is the issue? Why are so many Latinos and people of color just not going into STEM careers?
A lot of it deals with just school in general. You have if you read through the material, you've got 6 points that lead to children dropping out of school, which are high rates of absentee, that can be due to language, that can be due to deficiencies due to language, low school engagement, and low parental education, as well as problems at home, problematic behavior, and leaving school or arriving school at an early age.
And these are the same social issues, if you will, that's also leading to a higher dropout rate for Latinos. And you have some of the data, which is very staggering in terms of what the dropout rate is for Latinos.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's pretty upsetting. Between the Latinos between the ages of 16 and 24 account for 21.1% of the population, but yet they represent almost 50% of the students who drop out of high school. So what they say is that Latinos are becoming the face of high school dropouts.
There are many who have English as a second language, or that have limited English skills that I'm sure is a contributing factor. But what's wrong with the way we're teaching those LLO classes that are not reaching the Latino students?
Well, what's happening is that the teachers don't understand language acquisition. So without them understanding the stages of language acquisition, the students enter these ESL classes. They pass a test, but the test is based on social English, which I'm not fluent in Spanish. My son is fluent in Spanish. I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I could have a conversation. But you cannot put me into a classroom of math or science and expect me to succeed without any supports. So what happens is that the Latino students or ELL students pass this social English test, and then they're placed into the content areas without supports. And that's part of the failure rates.
Very, very critical. Let's talk about some of the things that Med About Science is doing to try to overcome some of those factors.
One of the programs we're doing right now, there's 2 points of the program we're doing. We're working on building success and confidence within STEM. And one of the organizations we're going to be working with this upcoming year is South Jersey Gas. And we're trying to create a pipeline to replace the leaky pipeline you spoke about earlier in terms...
That's appropriate, right? Gas
Right.
company.
Yeah. So we're trying to replace that pipeline with a solid pipeline in order to funnel these kids not specifically into South Jersey Gas, but into math and the science and the technology that's needed to fill in positions where they're lacking. With South Jersey Gas, for example, they have a lot of incoming Latino customers, and wanting to benefit their customers and address their needs, they don't have enough Spanish-speaking people. So what we're trying to do is take those who speak Spanish and English and funnel them into positions in which they can use this incredible skill of 2 languages to help out.
And it's important to also have role models.
Exactly.
Right? And what are you doing to try to help to get more role models that are people of color, that are Latinos?
For example, I go to homes and just talk to a lot of the young kids, whether they be Latinos or African Americans, about roles, especially in STEM. Mm-hmm. So we push everything from getting involved in the program I mentioned before to joining tech clubs and really pushing them in a manner that they're not used to, or society's not used to seeing them in. And additionally, to have them go to businesses and have mentors who work in that industry, mentor them throughout what needs to be done educationally, as well as in terms of getting a job after school.
Now, for many who may not know, everyone knows what STEM is, and there's also STEAM. Break that down for us. What does that mean?
Okay, well, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. STEAM is the new push now, and that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
So basically, those are growing careers, growing fields, and,
Yes.
and hence why it's so critical and important. If you want to get a good paying job and if you want to get ahead, it's very important that you lean towards some of the STEM careers or STEAM careers.
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of, what people don't realize, the plumber, the electrician, the auto mechanic, those are STEM careers because all of those things are becoming technologically linked. But the fault is happening is that back when I went to school, we had shop, home economics, and wood shop were all within the high school. But now they've moved over to vocational schools. But the vocational schools come with criteria, academics, test scores, teacher recommendations. So if the kids are struggling in school, they can't get into the VOTEC classes. They can't get into those schools because they don't hit that criteria. So what do you do with that student who is good with their hands but not academically? So to me, that's a shortage right there and something that needs to be addressed.
I know the push is not just to graduate from one of those classes or one of those technical schools, but to have the certification that you qualify to do that job as well.
Exactly.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. I'm pleased to have Darlene and Bremen DeHaan with Med About Science as we discuss the importance of engaging minorities in STEM careers. Darlene and Bremen, welcome once again back to Latino Motion. And we were talking about some of the issues and Med About Science is trying to make a difference. Tell me a little bit about the programmatic parts of it. I know you're doing some tutoring or going to offer some tutoring and other things. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the tutoring that we're offering is bilingual tutoring. Mm-hmm. So we want the students who speak Spanish to be able to have the information explained to them in their native tongue as well so that they can be more successful. And we are extremely, extremely grateful for 2 Greek organizations right here from Stockton University. It's the Lambda Theta Alpha Latin sorority and the Lambda Theta Phi Latin fraternity. And they have been instrumental in helping us find the bilingual tutors. But we believe that through providing the tutoring, that the students will be able to express themselves, in Spanish to what they understand and hear the explanations in Spanish as well.
And you're also getting ready to engage with a couple of school systems as well.
Yes, we're hoping very much so to be in area schools. We're looking into the Pleasantville School District and the Millville School District as well.
And during the summer months, I understand you also have a special program that
Yes.
that's in the works.
Yes, we are very excited about it. We want to be able to offer robotics, coding, forensic science. As a former forensic science person myself, I just think it's a really hot topic right now for the kids, as well as video and music production. So we're in the midst of writing grants for that and trying to find instructors to come in and help us with that aspect of it. And the reason being is because in school, in a lot of the summer programs are just very, very expensive. And a lot of these communities, these kids from these communities, they can't afford it. So we want to be able to provide the funding so that they can experience these courses so that we can start plugging the holes on that leaky pipeline.
And one of the big keys is parents, getting parents' involvement. So tell me about what you're doing to make that happen.
Parental involvement is crucial to any child's success, whether you're Latino, Black, or whatever it is.
When your mom got involved, look what happened.
Exactly,
to you. So
yeah.
Certainly, it's very, very key.
So we are working on, we're currently providing workshops, and it will start a lot heavier in the next year for students and parents. These workshops, especially for the parents, they deal with being an advocate for the parent, not only through what is allowed and what's owed to them in the school, whether it's 504s for additional time, for temporary accommodation, whether it's longer testing time, larger fonts, sitting closer, or IEPs, individual educational programs, or individual educational plans. And we advocate for the parent to be able to attend the school with the teacher and the administration in not only in English and in Spanish, and explain what their rights are and translate that to the administration. So there's not the language barrier that can be holding this child back. And additionally, as Darlene said, the workshops for the students, which also very much flow into the tutoring, the bilingual tutoring.
It's always great to have an advocate for parents, and sometimes, although many schools are open to parents, the reality is that for a Latino parent, maybe it's not as open, and there are many obstacles that perhaps administrators don't see to make that happen. So certainly having an advocate to come and guide parents and be able to break that wall between administration, the schools, and the community is very, very crucial. So the workshops are going to be taking place when and where?
The workshops are going to start next year, hopefully within the schools. They're very much going to encourage the parents, regardless of your education, regardless of your language. We're going to teach you what you're allowed to address the faculty of the school on and what your rights are. And then from there, help them push their kids in the right direction, or what it's going to be, whether it's STEM, whether it's mathematics.
So another part of it that you mentioned is professional development for teachers. Very, 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 very important. That's also is in the works.
From the research that we've done, a lot of the teacher preparation programs, either they spend a little bit of time on teaching ELL and students of other language, or it's not even included. So these teachers are finding a lot of ELL students and struggling students, the language barrier in the classroom, and they don't know how to address it. So we want to support the teachers as well in providing professional development for them to be better teachers in the classroom for that English language learner.
So for parents who may be seeing this show, want to prepare their children for STEM careers, what's the key?
It's being involved. It's making sure that the students are getting the supports and they understand 504s, which are accommodations, and they understand IEPs. But they have to show up. They have to show up to back to school night. They have to show up for parent conferences, and they have to show that they're concerned and watching the classes that their children are in.
Very important keys.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing this
Thank you for
information.
having us.
And stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. In spite of changes that might materialize with the new federal administration, the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, is still in place. Joining me today is Celeste Fernandez, community advocate and businesswoman. Celeste, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you for having me.
So you're also a independent insurance agent, and you're part of helping the community to sign up for the Affordable Care Act. A lot of folks are under the misimpression that it's no longer in effect, but it still is, very much so.
Yes, and it's still going strong, correct. And they have until December 15 for those that want to enroll and start the benefits on January 1st. But it's running until January 31st.
So January 31st.
Yes, correct.
So essentially you could sign up to January 31st?
Yes, correct.
So, and there's also times of the year when you may have some life changes, you get married,
Yes.
child's born and so forth, that you could still apply for the insurance as well for the health care.
Yes, we call them the special enrollment period.
Okay.
Even though, like you say, if you have a child, if you get married, or if you lose your benefits through your job.
So those are the times that you could still apply even though the deadline has passed.
Yes, correct.
Now, so what do you need to sign up for the affordable? If you haven't done it, and maybe some of you got the penalty when you filed your federal income taxes, might have been a wake-up call. If you haven't done it, what do you need to be able to sign up for it?
They need personal documentation. They need a Social Security card, and as well information on the family and their income.
Well, one of the good things about coming to you is that and many of the Latino in the Latino community have a hard time understanding the different benefits and the different tiers of insurance you could get through the Affordable Care Act, and you're able to walk them through that as well.
Yes, that is correct, because it's very confusing, very complicated, and they don't understand when it comes to out-of-pocket and deductibles.
Now, I know that as a community advocate that you've been for quite some time, you take pride in educating the Latino community in terms of these services and certainly many others. How do you go about doing that?
Yes, that is correct. I got to take my time with them and explain what is the definition of each one and walk them through the process and just take the time and teach them and educate them, because otherwise they get afraid and instead they don't get the benefits.
And I know besides the Affordable Care Act and just knowing all the ons about it, and we know that it's going to be in effect certainly through next year. It's really not enough time for the new administration to make those changes. So it's you have to take advantage of and be covered. But you also deal with life insurance and other products as well. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yes, that is correct. That's another area where Spanish community had to be educated, because for us, where we come from, most of us, life insurance is not that important. So, but it is important. This is we see life insurance just as a death benefit, but it's not. There's a life benefit in there as well. There's a retirement benefits in there as well, and it can help our kids as well.
Yeah. And you know, one of the unique things that you're also doing is providing a service to help reunite family members that may have deceased here in the U.S. back to their home country. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, through Repatriación Latina, that is a Colombian-based company, we offer those benefits where when your loved one or the loved one pass, we have all the process covered to transfer those bodies to the country where they belong to, and they can reunite over there with their families.
I know many of our parents that may have come over. My dad, when he came over, he says that if he died, he wants to be buried back in Puerto Rico. And I hear that a lot from the older generation that came here as immigrants and certainly want to go back because the family members are there. You know, so it's an interesting service. Is there any other people offering that? That's kind of unique.
Well, not around. They have another office. The company have another office in Newark, but we are the only one in this area now as an authorized agent.
So that's like an insurance policy, basically.
Well, it It is like, but it's not.
Okay.
But it's covered all those benefits, so even the paperwork when the person passed as well.
Now, I know your office is in Pleasantville, and you have a partner. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, Mr. Bruce Pesco. He's been around for almost 30 years, and I'm working with him. Great person.
Bruce is a great person, well known throughout the community, and certainly if you're working with Bruce, you're in good hands, and certainly your clients are in good hands as well.
Yes, and another person too that I'm working with, life insurance. Another master that is my mentor is Mr. James Martin. So the support is there. The community just had to take the first step and come forward, and we're there to help.
Well, thank you for sharing this information. And just note that Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act is still very much alive. Take advantage of it. And thank you for joining us at home once again here on Latino Motion.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas.